What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for May 16th, 2022. 3.17.1 is now on the PTU with a lot of cool things coming. One of those things being the RSI Scorpius, which already has a ton of drama around it, and the cargo refactor. Is it going to be late? All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official news from Star Citizen each week and throw my opinions in there as well. And if you didn't know, I live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, every day but Monday, so I can get this video out to you guys starting at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I do have a second channel here on YouTube called SaltEMike 2. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, feel free to do so. Those links will be down in the description below. But we have a ton to get through this week, and yeah, let's get into those 3.17.1 patch notes. Getting right into it, there are a couple new features coming into 3.17.1. One of them is the window mapping shader. We've talked about this before. We've seen this before on, I think, Sprint Reports and Star Citizen Lives. This is where they take windows on big buildings in Star Citizen and make them feel more believable. Some of them will have their lights on. Some of them will have their lights off, especially at night. It'll look really good. But I grew up really close to New York City. Most large buildings, they have many window panes, but they usually span an entire floor, so there's not walls in between each window pane. That's one thing that they're doing here with Star Citizen, and it does actually break the immersion a little bit. It looks fantastic. It is a great step in the right direction. What I'd love to see them do in the future is definitely take a floor and make it a floor. The big thing for me is that if you look up at the ceiling, they're all exactly the same, and they're like one big ceiling tile, and when you look through each window, that's what's breaking the immersion for me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. I think it looks great, but I also think it can use some improvements for sure. And then for the RSI Scorpius, it's, in case you don't know what it is, it's Star Citizen's X-Wing fighter, right? I hear it's not as good of a competitor to the Hurricane as people would like. The Hurricane is still kind of king here. And for me, though, I'm not much of a combat pilot, so the visuals of firing your weapons in this ship, it's holy Star Wars. It's amazing. So I love the way that looks. We're still in the PTU. There's a lot of balance that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. That's to come. So calm down about the Scorpius a little bit, guys. It's going to be okay. All right. And then for feature updates, a lighting pass on clouds for Hurston. AI bounty missions are balanced for better experiences for new players. Not exactly sure what this means. I thought the intro missions were incredibly easy, as well as the very low and low bounty missions, right? So, you could do a lot of them in the Aurora, like, incredibly easily. So I don't know what's changed here. I don't know what balances come in. Let me know in the comments if you guys know what it is. I'm kind of curious about that one. And they added a refueling console to the back of the Starfarer. I like this one a lot because refueling before was done in the cockpit, and it felt a little bit weird because you didn't have a video of what was really going on in the background, or in the back of the ship, I should say. So it'd be really nice to, like, be back there, move your head, and look and see how the refueling's going. Oh no, something caught on fire, right? Like, turn it off. That would be cool. And then just general performance improvements. There were a ton of bug fixes in 3.17.1. I'm just going to touch on two here. The corpses should now clear at bunkers, and they fixed that BR2 shotgun issue where it can put any ammo inside of it, and we had a massive 12-shot railgun. It was crazy, right? And then just a bunch of other minor fixes. Again, link for this will be in the description if you want to check out any of the bugs that you've experienced and see if they got fixed. And then lastly for this, they fixed a ton of client and server crashes. I don't know about you guys, but 3.17.0, I can't do anymore. It is very crashy, lots of 30Ks, and I am now spoiled from the 3.15, 3.16 cycle. I don't want to go back. So hopefully these crash fixes are going to make the experience a lot better. And that's really it for patch notes updates, but we did have a roadmap roundup this week, so let's check that out. And the roadmap roundup was short this week. The only thing here is the Scorpius being committed for 3.17.1, and a lot of people they complained that this update was too thin, and it was thin on purpose because we have a ship sale at Invictus coming. And we've seen this happen before with CitizenCon and the Carrack being delayed, but since then, they have absolutely delayed features on a roadmap before a ship sale. It's happened many times before. I think people are mad for the wrong reasons here. Something happened on the cargo refactor where it appears to have more tasks, and the bar has gotten a little bit longer into Q3. That was not mentioned in this roadmap update, but I'm pretty sure that when the go, no-go meetings happen, we tend to get the update after that. So they're probably happening around now, and then we'll get the update for the following one. Now, also, in my experience, when 3.17 or 3.17.1 is the focus, usually we don't get very much in the way of roadmap updates. Now that 3.17.1 is on the PTU and the focus is going to shift towards 3.18, the roadmap updates are going to shift towards 3.18 as well. So for me, a lot of the timing of everything is quite normal, but a lot of people are just already upset that there's going to be a ship sale and are already creating anger around it. And I don't know if it's really warranted in this situation, but it's what's happening. So that was it for the roadmap updates. We did get 2 videos this week, so let's move on to video updates. This week's ISC was an entire sprint report ISC, and they started out like they do with the monthly reports, AI. So AI landing was They're trying to make it look more natural, and what's cool is they told us why it's being prioritized. They want to add NPC reinforcements in situations where spawn closets just don't make sense. They also showed AI walking speeds. I think this is kind of cool because when we do have more AI around us, it'll feel more natural and feel more real. They also had AI conversation stuff that we saw a little bit more of. They now have, if an NPC is going to walk past people having a conversation, they're not going to walk through them, they're going to walk around them. And then we saw some frontier clothing, which looks pretty cool. They also have some cold weather and miner applications to this as well. Then we also saw a desert cave. So we only have one type of cave archetype now. They are investigating new ones, they said, but the only one they showed was the desert one. So I don't know if there are ice ones for Microtech or other ones, but the desert cave is looking really good. Then we also saw underwater flora. We have water, so we have to work on water plants. Drake Corsair, they're bringing that up to the gold standard, and it's looking really, really nice and really, really Drake. Ground vehicle physics. This is showing on the left side, there are the current physics that we have, which are pretty arcadey, and then the right side is the more natural way that they would like to go with things. And then the Drake Vulture hull stripping. If you guys watched SaltEMike 2 this week, I am not happy about this. I'm just not I'm not a fan of the way it looks, about the way it feels. Lasers being involved with everything that we do, and it just is not the expectations that I had for the ship when I purchased it way back when. But who knows? This could just be as simple as a shader update or some VFX and graphics updates where hull stripping with the laser on your ship will eventually break off pieces, and then those will make their way into the ship. But it feels very hand-wavium and very fake and honestly boring. So I hope we see more from this. I'm going to keep my upsetness down as much as possible and say that I have very high expectations for this, and hopefully they can get close to meeting them. We'll have to see. And then we had a Star Citizen Live, which was your dev a dev version, and they showed rundown Frontier Outposts. It's the same type of game dev episodes that we tend to get all the time now. Link will be in the description for it. I'm not really going to touch on it too much. It's basically taking the outposts that we saw at CitizenCon and making them more abandoned versions. So, yep. And then we're going to go into other updates. We have a few things to touch on here. And starting out, we had a sneak peek. Corsair or Vulture? Which one do you guys think this is? It looks like it could be a Corsair turret. It could be the Vulture cockpit. I'm not really sure. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think, but it's looking great. Then for a lore post, it was Invictus related. If you're into that, links in the description. Scorpius feedback thread. This is starting to feel like the aftermath of the Ares Ion debacle. People are, let's just say, really passionate in this thread, but Yogi posted here and he discussed the turret of the ship a little bit and some changes they want to make to turret UI, as well as the lack of MFDs being the key comment for me here. This is in preparation for seeing more key information on our helmets. We discussed that on Weekend Review last week about the UI and the visor changes. So it's looking like very important information is going to be on the helmet visors going forward, and that is great confirmation to hear. And then lastly, the flight model is not final. We're on the PTU. It's in the patch notes. They said they know it's not final, and they have a week or until the weekend to get it done now. But they cannot have another Ares Ion situation on their hands. They got to get this one right. And then lastly, there was a weekend playtest, and they playtested general things around the Invictus event, but they accidentally went live with a new dynamic event around Invictus. I'm not going to give you too many clues here. If you don't want to be spoiled, I'm not going to share any video that I have or other people have, but I will direct you to my good friend XeroState stream. Link of all this stuff will be in the description. He was able to experience it live before they shut it down. I'll link his channel. I'll link the VOD, but I was able to see the location. It looks amazing. There's a ton of potential here for future gameplay, not just at the event. And yeah, I'm a little bummed out I wasn't able to play, but no spoilers for you guys. And yeah, that'll do it this week. So I do want to say thank you so much for watching as always. I hope you guys are enjoying the format. Last week, there was a ton of positive comments around the format of the show, and I really, really appreciate it. And as always, guys, make sure you hit that like button because it really does help us. Share the video wherever you can. That's a big help as well. Comment down below, and make sure you hit subscribe for more weeks in review. And I'll see you guys next week.